All right, welcome back. And this is our last class on externalizing behaviors. Today we're going to review what we have learned and talk about maintenance. So one of the first things that we learned was working on lightening the family atmosphere and really increasing positive interaction. So really finding ways to praise your child or your teen using a positive tone, saying, I believe in you and I love you more than you think you need to, because probably your kids need to hear it more than you might expect. And find the moments of joy and help them create hope that they can be the person that they want to be and that you want them to be. So why is positive attention so important? A lot of times kids who have these explosive anger outbursts or defiant behavior, they have internalized the message that I'm a bad person. And you really want to help them rewire that internally to be, I'm a good person, and sometimes I have trouble when I'm frustrated. And so really helping them understand that about themselves, you're going to be finding them, catching them doing good things and giving them positive attention for that. And then also when they start to choose neutral behaviors instead of negative behaviors, give them positive attention for that too. And when they do what you ask them to do, give them positive attention for that. So overall, you're really trying to find ways to have more positive praise for them that are valid, that have integrity, like they actually have done something good or at least not bad. We talked a lot about positive opposite. So when your teen has a problem behavior, identifying what is an alternative behavior that's positive that you want them to do in that situation and talking to them about it, and then really giving them lots of positive attention when they do that. We talked about for problem behaviors, unless there's a safety considerations at play, whenever possible, give zero attention to problem behaviors. You really want to turn off the faucet, no attention on problem behaviors, because your child, your teen will then learn, oh, when I want to get attention, what I do is positive behaviors, and not only do I get attention, but it's positive attention. And when you pair zero attention for negative behaviors with positive attention for positive behaviors, you have really impressive behavior change. And you just have to do that consistently, because you're trying to reverse possibly a decade or more of behavior and thought processes for your teen. We'll talk about safety considerations in a few slides. We also talked about effective communication. We talked about how can you model this for your teen so that they can not only learn it, but see you doing it as well. And so effective communication has three components. One, assertiveness. So really like being able to express your thoughts and feelings and needs in a clear, direct, respectful manner. The second is active listening. So when the other person is doing assertiveness, really giving them your full attention without judgment or interruption. And it also means like really trying to understand the words that they're saying, but also the feelings underneath those words. And then the third part is validation. So after the other person is talking and you've done active listening, really articulating that you acknowledge and accept that those are their feelings and thoughts. Even if you don't agree, just saying, I hear you, that you see this way, can be so monumental in the other person feeling understood and being willing to then try and understand what you're saying and being willing to try and find compromise. And so validation can really create a supportive, non-judgmental atmosphere, and it can also really help decrease conflicts and strengthen connections. And your teen is going to need to have effective communication for the rest of their life. They're going to have conflict with other people. And this is one way that you can help them learn the tool of how to navigate conflict in a healthy way, in a way that's really productive. We talked about distress tolerance skills. These are skills that your teen is learning with their Flourish therapist, and they're skills that you can help them practice. They're also skills that you can use. Having a teen with externalizing behaviors can be really frustrating. It can be very stressful, and it is very normal if you need some distress tolerance skills in those moments for yourself so that you can be the parent and the person that you want to be in those moments. And some of those distress tolerance skills include box breathing. So inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold for 4. There's some mindfulness tolerance skills, and then there's some active activities. We talked a lot about compromise. So one of the jobs of a parent of a teenager is helping them learn how to begin being an adult. And how do you transition from making decisions for them to helping them make decisions for themselves, but still being their parent and providing guardrails? And so, the idea with compromise is that, again, you're teaching your teenager how they can engage in healthy problem solving with another person. And so the steps that we talked about for compromise are for you to remain calm and really set the expectation that everybody's going to remain calm. And once people start to get away from calm, everybody's going to take a beat, take a pause, and then come back later. Step 2 is gather information. Really try and understand the other person and where they're coming from. And then really try and express yourself so that they can understand you and where you're coming from. Step 3 is focus on the common interest. Where is the overlap in the Venn diagram? Or what is it that what is the underlying value that you both share as you're approaching this problem? And then create options. This is where you brainstorm. There's no bad idea. Just play in the gray area, throw out lots of options. You're not committing to any of them. Step 5 is you and your teen actually choose a solution, and then you choose to try it for a week and then come back and do this process all over again. Okay, so we talked about, we said we would come back to safety. And so when there are severe behaviors, if your child has had severe behaviors in the past or you're concerned that they might, we really want to encourage you to do some safety planning with your Flourish team, so with your family guide. In moments where there are severe behaviors, you want to stay calm, you want to call for help, and you want to make sure other children in the room are safe, that you're safe, and that your teen who is having these behaviors is safe. If you feel that you can engage with the teenager that is having this outburst, you can try to de-escalate with very short, validating statements. I'm here, you're safe. Or you can step back, give them some physical space, and you can say, I'm going to give you some space, but I'm here listening. You could say, I understand you're frustrated. Some of these behaviors come from your child really feeling like they don't get heard, whether or not that's the reality. That's often the feeling on the inside. And so helping them address that in a very non-confrontational way can sometimes help them de-escalate. Other times, what you really have to do is make sure that you're safe, other people in the home are safe, and that your child is perhaps contained to one room. Perhaps you're waiting for help to arrive, and then things can de-escalate from there. After the storm, so after the outburst, maybe a day or two later, if your teen is still in the home, you can try and create a moment to talk. And again, this is where you're going to model the communication skills and use them and really try and understand, see if they can describe to you what was happening for them that led to that outburst and how they were feeling during the outburst. They might have a lot of negative feelings about themselves related to that behavior, and it might be really helpful for them to be able to tell you about it in a non-judgmental way. And if that conversation goes well and everybody's still calm, you can then very calmly explain the house rules. I understand you were frustrated, and that behavior broke some of our house rules. We don't throw chairs, or, in this house, we don't XYZ, whatever. I want to help you be here and feel heard without having to do that. And know that it's a journey, and behavior change takes a lot of time. Okay, so, ongoing homework as you work on maintenance is really try and remember these 3 key takeaways. If you remember nothing else, these are the 3 things to remember. Tell your teenager you love them. They need to hear it way more often than you might think, than any of us might think. Tell them I love you. 2, Give positive attention for positive behavior. Lots of it. Try to do this more than once a day. Really, really try and see them doing positive things and give them positive attention. And whenever it's safe, ignore negative behavior. Ignore, and then give positive attention to positive behavior. So continue praising positive behaviors, continue working with your family guide, and we will send you the links to past videos so you can rewatch them. Again, huge shout out and kudos to the researchers in the field who have done all of the work that has contributed to us being able to put this class together. And thank you for the incredible work that you do as the parents and caregivers for your teen. We are really grateful to be on this journey with you.